how many CMEs it shot off because it keeps
Well, we'll
fired.
find out. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the rabbit hole as we pipe in over here at Twitch, and we start the recording over here. And
Sorry. That's good.
Wow! Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the rabbit hole, and good to see you out there and over there on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Rumble. Locals, maybe. We'll see. And I don't know if I put it on Twitter or not, but not a big deal. We'll get it out there for those who are on Twitter. I want to welcome you all to our I don't know, kind of our fun weekly. I wouldn't say it's set in stone, but it's pretty good, pretty average on a Wednesday. And periodically we do the Saturdays. Last Saturday we didn't do it because I was working, and I finished that part of it today. It's not great, but it's something. And I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you, Canuck, better known as New Brunswick, Canada guy. And thank you, Walleye King, better known as Luke Clemmer Strud. Which is it? Clemmer.
They were both wrong. Just Clemmer's fine.
Yeah. Clemenstrud, something like that.
No,
Yeah.
that was still wrong, but we won't go into it.
Yeah, he's got one of those Norse names is out there. Yeah. I'll just say that I think we got a couple. We got something in the background here on the screen. Oh, it's seeing that. All right. Well, shoot, howdy. I'll just do this. Fix it. There we go. And like that. All right. So, well, I don't know why there's a toot. Oh, I got it twice. That's what's going on. Wow. Hey, the wabbit has got a wabbit. Turn off the timer.
It's double or nothing.
Yeah, no, right?
Double down, boys.
Second. There we go. All right. Main. Yeah, the main's working. All right, cool. We're on together. All right. So, yeah, boy, I'm beat. A long day today. Been a long week. But anyway, for those people who are out there in La La Land, which is La La Land is outside of Twitch. All right. So they got to see this and share the screen. Oh crap. Oh, window. Yeah, there we go. Share that and load it and push play. All right. Hold on a second. Hi, I'm Joe of the Joe Slick Live Show. My interactive live show is on twitch.tv/Joe Slick Live. Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and occasionally in the evenings at 7. During the live show, I review and talk about reports from government, private, and other reporting agencies and websites regarding celestial and terrestrial phenomena. Topics will include solar flares, sunspots, geomagnetic storms, and near-Earth asteroids and comets that are being monitored around the world. Geomagnetic. Included in the report is current events in the last 12 to 24 hours here on Earth, consisting of volcanic, seismic, and weather events. I close the morning report off with what's happening in the local and world news. Thank you, and you can be a part of the morning report by going to twitch.tv/Joe Slick Live. Look forward to seeing you there, and remember, don't get none on you. Make sure you hit that like button and the bell so you know you get notified, and subscribe. Thank you so much for those who do. And over here on Twitch and out there on La La Land, because there's so many places we're on right now, live everywhere. Thank you for helping out. You can leave a gratuity there and streamelmlets.com/Joe Slick Live. Follow the prompts, and you can do that there too. Hello, Quake Cat. Hello, Vampy. Who else we got out there? San Diego Dan. Nice to see you. Eden's out there. Good evening. Simply Sue. Good morning to you. And Land Down Under. It might be in the middle of the night. She's up early. Susan, she's probably gone on bed. But yeah. And of course, everybody else out there in La La Land. Tim says we're at a KP5 right now. So let me see here. Do we have any flare absorptions? Share this band instead. Yeah, looky here. This is the Earth's absorption. Whoa! No wonder we lost phone today. Yeah,
Wow.
we had a blackout there, boy.
That's crazy.
That was dead on us, man. Boom. Oh my gosh. And wow, it's weird. It's on there, it's black, but on this is green. Wow, that's a trip. So
No, I don't remember seeing anything like that either. That's freaking weird.
That's wild.
It's like a
I've never
black.
seen that before.
It's like a black hole. It's like a black
the
hole.
black hole is supposed to be green. I don't know why it's not, but hey, oh, there's the red. Bam. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Like this right here. Wait. Anyway, well, okay, that was a good one here. What was the time on that stamp? Let's see. About 18. Well, peaked out. Let's see. Well, I'd say it peaked out about 1830 UT, and it continued all the way till 1939. And Southern Cal got zapped. So did I. Boy. Oh, my land. The whole United States, except for parts of Alaska. And almost out to Hawaii. From Canuck Land all the way out to Hawaii was yellow and red. Wow. Far out, man. Let's go ahead and check out the solar weather here. Solar wind right now is 441. Proton density is at 881 or 0.8. So about 3/4 of 1 proton per cubic meter. We've had an M7 and an M6 in the last several hours. I don't think we're 24 hours already. Right now, GMX Storm Watch is a G2. Multiple CMEs are headed toward Earth. And they start arriving today and tomorrow. Cannibal CME sparks some auroras out there. That happened yesterday. And not the greatest, but, some. 72 is unstable and will give us X flares, which is down here. Okay. Yeah. This mess over here has been kicking our tail, but this little booger's got X, and here comes another one. We don't know what it is yet. And another little tiny one there, but this one looks pretty good. What was it? 62 and 70 or 66 and 65 had a bunch of bad stuff on us. But yeah. Anyhow, things you might see when you're watching the auroras. Dan Bush was trying to photograph sprites on several times during the night on July 30th, looking for the auroras in northern Missouri. Instead, he captured this jellyfish sprite. Check that out, man. I mean, seriously, think about it. You don't have a computer.
That's a pretty rare photo, too.
Yeah, it's super rare. You don't have a computer. You don't have a car. You don't have electricity. You live in 1500 BC or AD. And you see this thing in the sky. I think you start nailing some witches to the post and start burning them. because that scares the hell out of me right there. Then the sky turns green. So what the hell is going on? That's pretty spooky. It's so incredible. You can see it now over there on everybody else around the world, not just on Twitch. I had to share it.
It looks like the Far Point Station aliens. And
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Crazy. I mean, think of it. We all today, we have, all this TV and all this stuff, computers and stuff. But if we didn't have any of that, and you see this thing sitting in the sky, what do you do? Yeah, I know it's probably time lapsed, but it doesn't change the idea of what you're seeing up there, Kat. I'm trying to get you to visualize, and it's not so much time lapse because there's no wind on these trees being distorted.
Yeah, well, people years ago wouldn't have known what it was, right?
Right. Here's another one.
Now we know.
It could have been a big jelly aliens that were coming down.
Right.
They didn't know.
In the 1930s, it's like, raw! The freaking Martians are coming. So pretty far out, pretty stinking far out, and but it is the point. He had a Sony AZ3 with 24 millimeter f1.4 lens. ISO is 2500 or 25,600 with a 1/4 second exposure on a tripod. He says thunderstorms were so very active, quick electrostatic discharges similar to the lightning, but occurred high above the storms. I was seen many times before, but this display was intense. Dozens showed up on camera. Here's the video. All right.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them recorded from the space station too.
Yeah, that was pretty cool watching that. See, this is a video here. Boom. All right. So it's like one picture. Bam, right there. You don't see the distortion in the trees, because trees move, right? They're not dead. They walk. Some trees walk. Anyway, this is where the storms were happening up here in just north of Kansas City. I think is Des Moines, up by Des Moines. Speaking of storms, let's see what's on the COD. Can you all see?
Jump in here for just a sec and tell you the BZ is 8.72 on the north on the rise right now.
On the north on the rise. All right.
All right. The interplanetary magnetic field is 9.42 BT.
All right. Thank you, sir. And show that on the stream. All right. And on the sprites, we were watching the sprites. KP index is a 5 right now. Is that right?
Yep, we're in a G1.
A G1 right now. Geomatic storm 1. Class M chance is 75% chance for a class M, 25 for an X. So every time there's a boop, 1 in 4 is an X. That's pretty insane. The geomatic storm probability is going to drop in the next day or so, about 5%. In the mid latitudes, it's about 30%. Higher latitudes, 15%, because we are in summer. Hey, Conan, nice to see you, bud. Nice to see you. I'm going to turn my headset down. Bursting my ears here. In the asteroid world, there is no asteroids today, but tomorrow there's a 90-footer, a 180-footer, and 120. Oh, and the next day was a 120-footer. So tomorrow there's a 180-footer going by. That's pretty insane. Yeah. On the X-rays here, Share this tab. Yeah, we can see that we did have a KP5. It dropped down to 4.33 right now. No radiation storm, but looky here. This is an M6.23. We just had that. Right now we're in another M. Let me see, 6 hour. We just barely, did we make it? No, a 9.91, and then it drops down. Check that out. So it's staying right on the borderline of an M and a C, C8 or C5 actually. So, and we had a C 6 or M 6.23 right there. Boom, boom. And that was today. I don't remember the other one where it was, but yeah, you can see that now. Sorry for those who didn't see it. Planet Vampy's in the house. Sue, Conan Invisible is here. Please tell me who is high in chat, and we'll send them off to bed. I don't know. Oh, Uncle Milty made it. Love seeing Uncle Milty too. Uncle Milty. I call him Uncle Milty. I don't know why. Like Milton Berle, you know. Timmy and Vampy are in chat, right? She's going to play mom tonight. Share this instead. All right. So, wow, I got some weather towards me, but it's moving toward me, but not yet. All right. Looks like Kansas is getting pummeled. Iowa a little bit. Nebraska's got some noise. West Texas, New Mexico's pretty banging. Down over just south of Timmy, they got some weather, so he probably got maybe some high clouds, but and the Panhandle just got pummeled. Wisconsin and Michigan, both getting rocked. Did you get any weather up there, Luke?
This morning we had a little thunderstorm.
Yeah, I can see like you got a little something there.
About 6 o'clock this morning.
Mm.
Well, it looks like it's trying to make a dare show, but
yeah.
It's like a C shape. That makes it.
Yeah,
it's like a bull echo almost.
Yeah.
Okay, subregionals.
Backward C or whatever.
Yep.
Well, I know a cat is up in the Great Lakes, so I don't know.
Like bad straight line winds and stuff.
Yeah, you can see it blowing out, but let me see what the upper level shows. The low pressure is going through the bottom of what is this? Is Michigan here? Yeah, Michigan, and going into picking up into Michigan there, coming out of South Dakota. All right, subregionals. How about the lower level? Oh shit, dry at my side. Heat coming in. Texas got heat. Interesting, we got a whole line northeast to southwest of storms. How does that work? What ligament is that? That's the Great Falls. Is that the Great Falls there, Canuck? Is that the Great Falls one right through the middle there? From Texas up to
I know it would be more Nemaha Ridge. Like I'd have to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to see where it originally generated. Probably.
Well, I'm just saying where it is right now.
Yeah, I would guess Nemaha Ridge and then moving east. Because that's happened a whole bunch of different times this year where they like generate in Kansas, Nebraska, and then come across.
Right.
Along that.
Well, there's definitely monsoonal moisture down here. We do have this mess over here. I saw Noah was saying it turned into a hurricane. But here's Carlotta, tropical storm Carlotta out here in the west. and it's moseying up that way. Plus, we have another 10% chancer down there and a 20% chancer over there. So the Southern Pacific or Central Pacific is pretty active. The Atlantic, here it is. This one, they don't think it's going to create right now, but it's a 60% chance in 7 days. So there's big chance. Yeah. And we'll look at the Eastern Pacific. There we go. Carlotta. Yeah. All right, there off Colima. Whoa, whoa, waggy. Whoa, whoa. Anyway, we'll look in the west right here. Good storm right here. I don't know where the hell it's going. Out to sea. So it's going out to sea. It's interesting that the trade winds are still going from east to west. That means El Nino is done. So now we enter the transitional phase into La Nina. Be good news for my boy up there in North Dakota, but not so good for me down here. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see where it is. Tropical hurricane or typhoon starts up on Thursday, about 11 p.m. And, it's upticking just a hair again. We're at 878. See, 878 right now.
Hey, just to jump in here real quick.
Go right ahead, bud.
For the solar flares on this day, number one spot going to be taken by today with that M6. So number two would be in 2023, M3.6. Number three be in 2014, M2.94. And number four in 2023, M2.21.
On this day in history.
On this day in history.
And
also in 1984, we had a G3 geomagnetic storm, which would be a KP index of 7.
Yeah, KP index 7, yeah. Well, in the last 30 days as well, we have not less than 187 sunspots. In June, we had 164, so we're up 30. Can you believe that? That's crazy.
They all seem to be migrating right toward the center.
Yep, it's supposed to as we get into it.
It has a flair for the dramatic.
A flair for the dramatic. Okay. Well, I saw that person with a butterfly coming out their mouth. I was like, what the hell? Then I said, what the hell? What kind of ad is that? Okay, good. It disappeared. Thank you.
It's the butterfly effect.
I guess. All righty. Last M flare was an M1 today. Geometric storm happened yesterday at G1. All right. So, it stayed in the south pretty good, most of today. Now we're in August 1st. It's rising in the north. It's already a 9.68.
It just hit an M1 like 30 minutes ago. Just touched it.
Yeah. Just barely touched it. Yeah. Solar activity, solar flares. Here we go.
I'm getting all sorts of crazy notifications again tonight about World War III, so I'm probably going to be up to 3 a.m. again.
You know what? Don't worry about it. It's not going to be World War III.
At least not tomorrow.
They're going to take out Iran, and the world's going to go after Iran. But the Russians are going to try and save them. And it looks like Turkey might attack, but Turkey wouldn't do that because they know they get their dick knocked in the dirt. I'm sorry for those who I don't have time to worry about it.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. All the
Yeah, and they killed
that after.
somebody killed the leader, and they don't know the Hamas leader who used to be. See, they had two kinds of people. One political arm is that the world sees, right? And they're all like kissy, lovey, and we're your best friend. Then they have the other one that's local, and they kill people and do a lot of bad shit.
They're only kissy, lovey to each other when they're face to face. As soon as they go home again, then they start to talk.
Exactly. Yeah, they hawk to each other. Yeah, I know. Part of that group, and the political arm of the one of the major players that were on the bad side of the non-visible side, Israel took out, and somebody took out the leader of the political arm, which is who everybody sees, who's living in Tehran, and they don't know how it happened. They don't know if it was a missile or if the building blew up. All they know is the guy went to the inauguration of the Iranian
president.
Yeah, the Iranian president, the new one. He comes home and boom, gets snuffed. I don't advocate a lot of violence, but how do you kill a bug? You step on it. And that's what needed to happen. So
drive 55 and hit it with your windshield.
Yeah, well, I'm getting all sorts of crazy stuff, and it's all been like in the last 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
They're saying major airstrikes cripple Iran. NATO F-16s now attacking Ukraine. Pentagon sources say full-scale war in 72 hours. So
what? Wait.
Yeah.
Why would the F-16s attack Ukraine?
Because NATO's been bringing in the F-16s.
Yeah, but NATO was bringing in, but the other guys, they don't know how to fly them.
But that's because it's actually the NATO pilots flying them now.
Yeah, I kind of don't buy that.
Because this is what's happening, and all the weird stuff that happened yesterday where they took out the Russian factory that makes all the guidance systems for all their missiles.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
A bunch of crazy stuff all happening.
Well, Russia can throw, millions of people at you, and it's called attrition. You can't stop it. However, you can kill a big portion of them, and they can go home. But if you're an Ukrainian, you have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have to investigate all this stuff after.
Right.
That I did last night.
NATO's in Ukraine. I don't believe that at all. I don't. I think that would be very unwise. They're sending weapons and all, and training, but people are signing up to go out there and fight. Well, that's on them. But I think there's a way out of all this. Russia announced yesterday that they have solidified the East. And that was kind of a crack in their armor, meaning they can stop. And I know former President Trump had spoken with the gay singer dude who's over there. I forget what his name is. Vladimir Zelensky or whatever it is. I think he's a Russian dude as well. I'm teasing. Who's strangling that cat? Go back and look at the James Bond movie, okay? Who's strangling the cat? That's my girlfriend. Anyway, but hey, shut up. That dude is, if they put somebody else in power who's Ukrainian and not Russian, there may be a chance for them. Good night, Vampy. You going to work? I'm going over to deck. Bye. Believe what you believe, then, but they're there. I know they're individuals, but I don't believe it. They're in. I don't believe we have our military over there. That's what I'm saying. War is only cowardly escape from the problems of peace. Yeah, but you got some jackass that wants to take the country. What do you do? And you got some other Nazi that's running the country. What do you do?
Well, there's always been wars. That's how it works. Like, I don't know. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Like, the kids were even asked me about it today, and I never said one thing to them. And they said, well, what's going on with this World War III? And they're 9 years old. And then I explained to them, well, there was World War II, there's World War I. I said, there's always wars. And so one of the kids asked, well, are we going to have to go through a world war? And I said, well, lots of people have before, so it wouldn't be anything new.
I hope we don't. God, I hope we don't.
So, like, I didn't go into detail with them. I just gave them, like, they were asking me general questions, and I just gave them the direct answer.
Right. I was looking at that stuff too, honestly, and in the last 6 hours we did have an M1, no, an M991, 994, 917, but I'm hoping we don't. God, I hope we don't. I mean, there's enough killing already, you know, for what? So you can show off you got a big dick? I don't know. But, you know, the UN and the U.S. and its allies started this bullshit with Russia. And, I mean, what do you think we would do if China put some bombs down there on Cuba? We would snuff Cuba right now. There'd be no doubt.
Last parking lot.
We'd snuff them, just bomb the shit out of them. And that's not okay. I mean, if anybody deserves it, it's those wackadoodles over there. But, you know, the people are so repressed. You know, they're just trying to survive. It isn't their fault. But I don't know.
Well, every place is getting more angry with whatever government they have, and that's what this is all about, right?
Right. Now you see the stuff that's happening down there in
Venezuela.
Yeah, Venezuela. That's pretty interesting, to tell you the truth. Maduro's still hanging on to power, but you know, the police are starting to fold. I don't know about all the military, but some of them have.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
Well, they're not going to be invading Guyana to get the oil anytime soon now, because they're all in.
What happened in Guyana?
Because that's been the thing, that Venezuelans wanted to invade and take over Guyana and all its oil. But now that's not happening now because it's a big civil strife in Venezuela. So people were saying in the things I was in last night, well, they said, well, Guyana should like invade Venezuela right now and take over Venezuela. So all these things I was in last night, it was just it was just crazy, all the stuff that was happening. So, because it was like between all the things going on with the Hamas guy getting eliminated and all these other things that are going on, and it was just crossing over into everything else. And this is related to this, and that was related to that. And everybody was giving all this information, and the people couldn't keep up with like all the information that people were like putting in the different chats. They were going, what?
Right.
Hold it. What are you talking about now? And they were like the people that were doing whatever report were trying to like, they were talking about Venezuela, and then everybody was all talking about what was happening in Iran, and then they were trying to catch up to that. And then some other people would give information about Venezuela, so then they'd go back to that, and they were like, all their normal things that they do is like maybe an hour show, and every one of them morphed into like 3 hours or longer last night because all this stuff was just all happening all at the same time, and they were just like jumping around everywhere. It was friggin' nuts. It's like a rabbit hole on psycho
on the main news channel.
drugs. And I was in like, I don't know how many different ones. I had like 3 different things going, and when one got done, I switched to another one, and it was just this stuff all happened like after midnight last night. It all started happening right around like midnight, and then it was just like freaking psycho crazy for like
it was going psycho crazy.
Yeah, they opened the floodgates, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's hard to keep up with all this stuff because there's so much stuff going on.
I know the Russians, they don't like flying their planes over Ukraine because Ukraine's knocking them down. They don't like that. Yeah. They don't have too many of those, Su-33s or whatever. They're big, powerful one.
Yeah, but they're supposed to have those in Iran. And then apparently
the Su-27s maybe.
But apparently they're not working, so I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see how that works out. Oh my God, you can watch Barbarella free. That was the first porno I ever saw, Barbarella. Yeah. It is in the 70s, or it was 1968. I saw it in, I don't know, 74, 75, maybe 73, somewhere in there.
Yeah, didn't they do like a newer version with Pamela Anderson in it?
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know.
I might have answered that one a little too quickly.
Pam never really did it for me. I was a Jacqueline Smith kind of guy. I liked.
Yeah. Well, they're doing remakes everything now, about 3 or 4 times over.
Yeah, there's nothing original at all, right? Nothing original.
That's a different rabbit hole, remakes.
Yeah.
All together.
Yeah. I don't know who's going to do Debbie Does Dallas again. Who knows?
Well, Hurricane Debbie might end up there.
That's just too funny. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. This world is just going bonkos, man.
Like, I haven't looked at the hurricane thing for 2 days, so I don't know. But the last time I looked, that's what they're talking about, was that it was switching back more south again. So I don't know if it changed today or not.
Yeah, they were talking maybe on the western side of Florida, if I remember right now. That's where it might land.
Yeah. What's that, bud?
What will be hurricane? Yeah, Hurricane Debbie.
Hurricane, yeah, that one. It's thinking it might turn into one.
Yeah. That was Hurricane, or Debbie is the name, right?
Yeah, it's going to be Debbie. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be Debbie. Yeah, we just looked at it. It's nothing yet. Vampy, I don't envy you in your situation. I pray that you're going to do okay, and I don't know how that works, but be safe. That's all I got to say is be safe. And anyway, yeah, I guess
so what's
Ted
going
Nugent.
on in Iceland?
Oh, thank you. Get us back get on track here.
What's going on in Iceland, Canuck?
I'm fading badly. Go ahead, Canuck. While I go grab a beer because I'm thirsty.
Yeah, well, they're just waiting for the next eruption, basically.
Are they saying it's like really close now?
Yeah, they say, well, pretty much imminent, but some of them are saying it's going to take a bit longer. They think I think what I saw yesterday, they think it's like 16 million cubic meters that are in the magma chamber right now, and that they think it has to go to like 20 again before, like what it did last time, before it'll erupt. So it's pretty close. So
Yeah,
that could, yeah. So they said, depending on how fast it's doing it, they said, well, it could be a few days or 2 weeks.
okay.
That's what the
Yeah, I'm trying to get it up right now for you.
Has the magma that's been intruding into the chamber, is that kind of slowed down a little bit? Is that why they're kind of putting a slight delay on it now?
Well,
Possibly.
it's like pretty steady because
I
they
think
said
it's steady, yeah.
yeah, they said it was going like fluctuating between 4 and 6, but I think whatever I saw the other day, it was more 4. So it was staying like pretty steady. And on when Wilsey went over the charts for what the lift is, it's going up at the different GPS stations. It's staying right steady.
Okay.
And then he had another guy that sends him info that takes and puts all this stuff on graphs. So like he compares them, this other guy, I forget what his name is, and he sends him all the information. He puts it all in graphs and then has all the different eruptions all compared. So you can see like how one compares to the other and what point it got to before it erupted and stuff. So there's this guy that's doing all that stuff, so you can go in.
Yeah, on your screen, the red one is the current status. The stars are where it erupted. Okay. And the dike intrusion was the purple one here. But these and a blue one right there. But here we are right here. We're already past many of the dike intrusions and many of the this eruption, and which is in earlier this year. And then the inflation episode of February, and then this is the last one from March.
That's over a week old already.
Yeah, and you can see this moving. So this is the latest one.
Canuck, let me ask you this. Are they thinking it's going to erupt in the same spot again, or are they thinking maybe somewhere, pretty kind of along the lines?
Yeah, they're kind of divided. They've been debating it. They think it's either going to come up in the same spot, but what they were worried about is that big crack that's in Hagafell because it's gotten wider, because they've been taking pictures of it. And that's that. And they found out like how it's orientated. It lines up with where that fissure opened up right next to Grindavik. It's on that same line.
Oh yeah, that's all red right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why they were thinking, well, if that's getting wider, is it going to like blow out there and then go into like what it did in January on that same line? And if it does, well, it's going to be right close to the berms, or it'll be inside the berms. So that's what they've been worried about. So there's like two different groups that are kind of fighting back and forth, saying it's going to be in the same spot, and it might be. The other group is saying, well, it might be a little bit closer to Grindavik.
Well, so if it blows out inside the dikes, they'll lose the Blue Lagoon and the power plant, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, if it does this thing where it blows closer to Grindavik, it's probably going to be better for Blue Lagoon and worse for Grindavik, because they know that if it comes up there, it's going to fill in and go over the top of the wall, or if it's on the inside, it's going to like come out where it did in January, and then it's inside the walls, and it's all going to flow like right down through right through to the harbor, because they already know how the elevation is, right? There, so they already know, like, if it blows out, the fissure opens up, which way it's going to flow.
Right.
Right.
The latest here, it says updated July 30 at 13:30 hours. The number of earthquakes per day within the Sunooker crater is steadily increasing. Model calculates suggest even enough magma has now reached the recharge level for a Svartfensing reservoir to trigger a new event. Also, there's an increased likelihood that this will occur within the next 7 to 10 days. And geodetic measurements show that the rate of uplift has decreased slightly during the past few days. This, along with the type of seismicity that was detected yesterday, are indicators that the dike propagation or a volcanic eruption may be imminent.
Yeah.
So this is crazy. You know?
Well, and then of course Katla having its flood too is another issue. So, and there's debates about that too.
So right now in the last 6 hours there's been 20 quakes. And not just in Sunooker or, you know, down here where we're worried.
So they said the last time there was a big flood that came from Katla under the glacier was 2011.
Right. And it just had one. So that just ended. And
in 2011, I think, was the same year that Grimslot blew up.
Right. And then we picked up a new, okay, we already saw that one. We picked up a new program and share this tab instead. So this is Sunooker right here. Here's Hagefeld, right? Here's Grindavik, right? And I believe the Blue Lagoon is right. Is that the Blue Lagoon? Power plant. Yeah. Power plant, Blue Lagoon are right here. I thought they were right there, but they're over here, I guess. You can see the different dikes now that are here. I can click this and they'll turn off. It's all in a different language. So, open street map.
Yeah, it's all Met Office new stuff.
Yeah, this is the new one. It shows all the fault systems, the volcanoes. I'll go ahead and put this right into chat over here on Twitch, and I don't know if I can put it. I'll have to do it after the fact, but on the recordings. But you can see the way the faults work and the fragmentation. It's supposed to move this direction eventually, but they're concerned because it's been moving west. And if it continues to move west, they're in a bigger problem. And they don't want that. Here's Reykjavik way up here, because the only airport's right here in Keflavik.
Where in Greenland are the plate separations at? Or Iceland, excuse me.
That's
where's the Europe plate versus the North American plate?
Let me see if it'll show it.
Just so people can have a comparison, you know.
Right. Well, basically, it comes right through here, over through here, straight out, right out down this little thing here. So where we're watching is right on the bottom half of the separation in North America and Europe plate. And it comes across the center here and then shoots back up into Svalbard, Jan Mayen right here, and then Svalbard up here.
Yeah.
So
that helps out quite a bit. So people, like me and other people, that they kind of know it's right there close to the plate boundary.
And there's volcanoes in Svalbard and Jan Mayen too.
Oh yeah, there is.
It's just you don't hear about them too often because they're sparsely populated. But they do have information on them. You can find it.
The red and orange are the geothermal wells.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. There's a lot.
Loaded.
That's a little bit over the top.
Yeah, there's all sorts of crazy information. If you can find out how to get to it.
Kat, do you have a link to that? What you're saying about the 2 microplates there?
Yeah, it's like in the middle of where all the rifting is happening.
Yeah, that would be right through here.
Because it's like wide, right? It's not like
Yeah, that's the thing that most people don't understand. It's not a line. It's, a couple 100 miles wide all the way through the center of the place. And they're in it, one sector goes this side, Langus Kroll, and the other one goes out through where Katla is and all the way up.
Well, and I just read new stuff on the lineaments because they're on all the new things they're calling
Right.
lineaments now, and they're saying some may be 300 to 400 kilometers wide.
That makes sense, because again, we often talk. I can't even draw on this thing now, but we often talk on how the strings of a guitar get strung, pulled, right, or strung, and the vibrations go back and forth. And is that back and forth of the lineament that's electromagnetic?
Yeah.
That seems that wide. And if it's wider, I think it's more active than not.
And it's like we try to focus in on one fault, but it's like a system of faults, right?
System of faults,
going the same direction. So any one of them can have the quake that you got to worry about, right?
Right. It can push. It's like you got 5 strings on a guitar, 6 strings on a guitar, right? You pluck the first one, you see the other ones vibrate as well. So what happens is you get one lineament that's vibrating, it's 300 or 400 miles wide, and it gets always strung, bang, 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 bang. Then what will happen is well, we got something coming in. I don't know if USGS will share it. South of Panama, Turkey came in 4.3. And that's at the top of that. That's where the big giant quake hit. So, nothing we can do about that.
Can we expect like a upper 4 or a lower 5 earthquake right before the eruption starts happening?
Well, it's usually slightly bigger. I think last time it was like a 2 or like a whole bunch of 2s, maybe a low 3 right before it started. Like a little bit before, it didn't take too long. Like it just started doing, I think it was like, I can't remember what they said, 3 or 4 or 6 hours, something like that. It started doing stuff before it burst through. Like they had enough. Yeah, they had enough warning.
Big increase, yeah.
They had enough warning of the swarm to get everybody out of there and close down the Blue Lagoon.
Yeah, right now, last 6 hours, 19 quakes.
Yeah. Because that same guy that Wilsey got the information from, he had another graph he had of how the quakes went. Like going way back into 2023, I think he had a graph of it. And it does like a big spike right before it erupts.
Okay.
Like every time he had it listed on this graph. So it starts out like really like the same level, like in between, hardly any or just a few. And then as it gets closer to the day that it's going to erupt, there'll be it'll start like going up maybe like 2 days before it starts going up a little bit, and then it takes a big spike right before the eruption happens. So,
And the magnitudes increased, I suppose, a little bit too.
yeah, and by what? Well, I watched the Wilsey one yesterday. The guy said it's gone up slightly in terms of earthquakes, but not like it hasn't had the big spike yet. But he said when it does, it does it in a few hours, and then boom, you have your eruption,
You have your eruption
and then the quakes die right off again, like go right down, and then they'll stay at a low level for quite a while, like while it's erupting, and then it starts going up slightly, like once it stops erupting, but then it's usually pretty flat for a while, and then all of a sudden it'll gradually like start going up, kind of like what the lift or the elevation is doing, and then all of a sudden right before it'll be right more active. And
I suppose the quakes that, after the eruption stops are kind of the rocks kind of collapsing back together, kind of contracting.
yeah, so the rate of them goes like right way down again, like while it's actually erupting, compared to what it did like right before. And
Right.
he had all the eruptions going back to 2023. This guy that did the graph of them, and he had them all on there, and you could see like how it went down and how it started going up right before it erupted, and then it goes down again while it's erupting, and then it goes down even a little bit more like right after it's done erupting, and then it'll gradually start going up a little bit again, and then eventually it does a big jump right before it erupts again.
Right.
But to me that would make sense. Yeah.
They also have an idea where the stuff's going to happen, because the infilling of it underneath Sinuker here, they still say this is the generalized area of the problem. We have on the bottom, we have Grindavik. Then right in the center is where the power station and the Blue Lagoon is. But they still believe right here is where it's all going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's not like going to happen somewhere else.
Yeah, and like if it comes up in the same spot again, they're worried that if it comes down around like what it did last time, it's going to go over the.
It's going to go over the new 60-foot wall.
Yeah, it's going to go over the wall into.
It's a geothermal power plant, so they shoot water down in there, and then steam comes up, turns the turbines. And I bet you they put poo-poo down there too, like they do up there in Amphithithco.
I was just going to say, is it straight water or is there a little poopy mixed in it?
Yeah. Well,
and it's bad because the Blue Lagoon and the power plant are down in like a depression, right? So
yeah, a little valley. Yeah,
walls, it's going to go down in there, so it's not going to be good.
Yeah. And I think this, if I'm not mistaken, this thing does about 30% of the electricity on the whole peninsula.
Yeah.
And then the steam that's created, they heat the water and they pump steam and water through pipes to heat the whole place.
Yeah.
So these people are going to freeze if they lose.
Don't they heat Grindavik with it?
Yeah. Yeah, because the hot water pipes go there, but they also go to Keflavik and those other smaller towns that are close to the airport there. They have 2 or 3 different names. Now, they have talked about like making another geothermal spot. They're doing like planning and testing in different spots to make other geothermal plants to do those other places on the peninsula. So if they did lose Svartsengi, they'd still be able to at least do stuff with the other places. But of course, there's no guarantee it's not going to end up erupting over where the other stuff is, because they know it's done that in the past based on the age of the lavas.
Right.
Because there's stuff way out on the east or the western tip that erupted the same time as the stuff by Svartsengi.
All right. See, last time, or last year, or 21, it happened right out here, Fagradal.
Yeah.
And everybody was watching it. It moved west. And now it's all
yeah,
here.
but they think that's what it's done in the past too, based upon
Sure.
the age of the lavas.
And they're concerned about it keep moving west.
Yeah. So like it starts on one side, goes across, and then back the other way as it goes up.
Down here is Rick James. And this is an area of power plants too.
Yeah.
This is the other power plant.
But it has to do with how that magma reservoir comes up, and then it has all the feeder things off it. So right now they're thinking that the magma reservoir was right under Fagrad. That's the middle of it. But it has all these fingers coming off it, so it can go out like way far away from it.
Right.
So
Fagradal is over here. Sunuker's over here.
Yeah.
And again, this is where we watched 2 of the eruptions happen, and then the last 3 happened over here.
And they say, like where the first one came up there in Gelding, whatever it was.
Right over here.
The first eruption. They said that rock there was super, super old. There hadn't been a lava eruption there for like a super long time. So the rocks there were old, but they hadn't had any lava on top of them, like come up on top of them for, I forget how long it said, way back. So when this busted through it there, it hasn't busted through there in a very, very, very long time. So it's wild stuff.
And then we got Katla's over here. Or maybe, I don't know. They got a few out here. There's so many volcanoes.
Yeah, and the farther you go over, you get into the bigger ones, right?
Yeah. And the bigger ones do explode right over here.
Yeah, because you get into Hekla and then AF one there with a big long name. And then Katla, and then you have all the ones above, Grimsholten and Bardabunga and all the other ones.
Bardabunga! I don't know why I like that one. I don't know why.
I think the people in Iceland need to hire like a couple contractors that know how to move dirt and rock, and they can start cutting big valleys in to direct lava away from where, if it does blow up, start coming out.
And there's a big gigantic fissure that comes off Katla that goes way, like it's a big deep one. It's very obvious.
Yeah.
Because Gylfi had that in his thing, but they don't know when that fissure happened.
Skafta in 1783 was the largest.
That's coming off Katla. So it's similar to the Lackey fissure, which was in the 1700s, but they don't, late 1700s, but they don't.
I remember when I was a kid. I think when I was a kid, this thing was going on. They had video of these. I don't know what you call them, vents or cracks in the road, right? And just magma shooting straight up in the stinking sky, and they had helicopters, and the helicopters were flying over them. I'm like, oh my God, what's this? And that was pretty intense when I was younger. And then
I forget what the Krafla ones were. The Krafla fissure eruptions. I think it was like 80s, maybe. I got to look it up again because Krafla is farther to the north.
Yeah, I mean it was on this sector up here.
Yeah.
Or maybe up here, but it was super long, and yeah, a lot of stuff was happening then. 1989 Redoubt eruption was the largest. Isn't Redoubt up in Alaska?
Yeah. Yeah. Krafla fires were between, eruptions were between 1975 and 84.
Right. That's what I mean. It was in the 70s, what I thought.
Yeah.
And it went on for a while, but I don't know how long.
Yeah, which I don't really remember that, but of course I would have been 10 in 1984. So I don't really remember it.
I was much older. In 1984, that's when I graduated high school. And I was a year late to graduate. So should have been 83. But I liked kindergarten too much. They said, you can't play. I want to play.
Yeah, because it says there was 9 volcanic eruptions and 15 uplift and subsidence events. That's what it says for the Krafla fires, as they call it then.
Yeah, Askja, that's the big monster that's in the middle of the island, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That thing's really tall too, right? If I remember correctly.
Well, it's got the lake in it.
Correct.
Lake.
Right there. Askja. 1509 meters. Pretty big.
Because see, that's what some of the scientists there in Iceland compare what it's doing now to the Krafla thing, which was 9 eruptions. Well, see, we're on 9 eruptions now.
There's more to go.
So
I don't know that it's slowing down.
So it's wild stuff.
Just because it's all on the you can share this instead. You can see here's the plate boundary that runs through. That's what Clem was talking about. And this plate boundary on the southern half on Sunuker and everything, that's where it's all going on. Right down here. Here's Grindavik. So
yeah, Katla's last big eruption was 1918, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's going off.
Crazy. That thing just ice and floating ash plume causes engine fire. Flight 867. Huh. Well, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But we're monitoring the stuff as best we can. We have there's so many topics to talk about. We're already an hour in.
Well, there's new stuff on the Palos Verde Fault that just came out too, and I haven't had time to read any of it yet.
Palo Verde Fault, not good, because that's right next to the other one, which I don't like because my daughter's over there. Yeah, and they just had that California quake. Can you believe that it started out as a 5.2? It's all the way down to 4.5 now.
Doesn't surprise me.
And they mapped it. I forget what it said. 30 kilometers wide down. I don't know how many meters it said. Like in details. The Palos Verde one. So they basically know like exactly how it is underneath. Yeah. So like how far it goes down.
4.9. Yeah. The Barstow quake. That's where I think this is the area that's going to do it.
Like I haven't read the study yet, but I just read the article about it or whatever the other day. Yeah, Quake Cat's putting it in there.
What is it? I came across this visualized video, realized that I was looking at the creation of Iceland. Microplate with surface processes. There's a lady who studied Iceland for 40 years. She said everybody's full of shit. That Iceland actually is part of Greenland. And the water has just come up. And so it looks like an island. And that island actually goes out on both sides of the plate. And there was a land bridge there. And, I forget what her name is, but she's an old British lady.
Well, basically, the microplate thing is it just forming a new plate at the center of the rift. But that's all it is.
Right. And
because they basically say that's how all the oceanic plates formed in the first place anyway.
Yeah, it was all water, remember? And then the Lord said, let dry land appear.
Yeah, and then they say, well, it forms at the triple junction between the three plates, and then it starts making stuff in the center of those. And then it makes you a new plate eventually, a new oceanic plate. And then it keeps spreading out. And
you need to watch that video, upgrade and downgrading earthquakes. Yeah.
There's a whole crap load of microplates now in Africa.
Yeah, well, it's breaking up. East Africa? It's breaking up, right? Because the rift.
Yeah.
So basin and range. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe the basin and range here will split. I don't know. That'd be far out if it did.
Well, and then you'll have an inland sea again, like what it was before.
Right.
And then some islands will pop up in the middle, and you'll say, "Look, there's more land. Let's send it to BC. They need more."
Right. If we don't get
I was going to say, since we've been on the air, we've had another M flare, too.
Yeah. Well, we had one right at the beginning when we came on, but you're right. Maybe. Huh? Look at the X-ray here.
We've had 3 in the last 2 hours.
M6.23, and we just now had an M1.21. Yeah. I watched it dip, and then there we go. Crazy. The sun solar activity, I think we've gone full circle now.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, Wages World thinks that it has to be a negative BZ before when the CME hits. Like when it's positive BZ, he thinks it repels. So it's not absorbing the energy from the CME.
Well, let's see if that works. So if it's in the green, it repels. If it's in the red, it makes quakes.
Well, it's not being sucked in to make the quakes.
Oh, the energy's being sucked in. Well, does he talk about the ring current?
Well, he doesn't, but that's more Tamitha Skov and
Tamitha Skov.
Other super people.
That ring current, when it gets full, it starts, weather starts to change.
Yeah, because what he says, it has to do, like if it's absorbing the CME power in or repelling it away. And he said it depends on positive, negative charges and all that stuff. But he thinks it has to do with the BC. Because based upon the stuff he's looked at, when it's a negative BC, that's when all the crazy stuff happens.
And when we're talking about BZ, I'll show you. I'll share it with you. Apologize. I caught it just in time. Oh, that big sneeze came at me. Let me get a real-time solar. There you go. View this and then show this on screen. All right. So here we go. Looking at the BZ down here. Right now it's in the north at 8.25. It got as far down as 13 today at 1800. So
You see what our magnetosphere is trying to do is protect us from all this stuff, right?
yeah. And the magnetosphere
pushes out.
Yeah. This is a magnetosphere watching it. I mean, shoot. It's 442 wind right now. Proton density is about 9 3/4. The BZ is at 6 in the last recording of this. Standoff distance is 10.73 and a dynamic pressure 1.6. Dynamic pressure is taking this orange and this orange, squeezing magnetically the planet. And you can see this orange line bounce. That's the magnetosphere. See how it bounces way out there? See, there's the standoff distance, 15, 10. Right now, when I stopped it, it's at 16. Earlier today, it was 25. It was way out there. There was no wind. Nothing, no protons coming in us at all. And then bam.
Yeah, and you can see the charges in the sunspots because that's what it has, the
Right.
color positive and negative charges in the sunspots. But
Right.
when it shoots off a CME, you don't know if it's positively charged or negatively charged. You don't know.
No, they don't. I mean, scientists don't even know, but they have to wait.
Yeah.
See, you'll see a show.
Or if you have like a filament eruption or something like that, same
Right.
thing. You don't know if it's positive charge or negative charge.
Right. And see, this one here happened right on the edge there. This this is, I guess that's where the M hit. Look at that.
Which is why I think we get hit with CME sometimes directly and it doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not making the connection and going to the ground.
Right. And watching the plasma come from the sun, because that's what comes out of the sun. Solar wind does too. When plasma comes out, if you watch this, there's the booms. All these are just being pummeled at us like it did in May. You know, there's like one after another, after another, after another, after another. And all that energy, hydrogen and helium, ions, and other stuff too, probably, come into our planet area, and positive, negative charges charge up our planet.
But see, I imagine the cosmic rays are doing the same thing.
Oh, right? Yeah, I'm sure. But the more active the sun is, the less active the cosmic rays get to us.
Yeah.
So the cosmic rays aren't bugging us right now, but they will. The weaker our electromagnetic current in our planet happens, the more that they're going to come in. Like when our polar changes, it takes like 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 3,000, 4,000, 10,000 years to flip. We don't know because they just don't know. It doesn't happen like overnight.
Wow, and cosmic rays are just stuff coming from other stars other than ours, basically.
Earth is like, hold my ion packs, right?
Yeah. So there's a crap load of other stars out there that are shooting stuff off too.
Right.
Lot bigger stars that are shooting a lot more powerful stuff off too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and good thing they're a long ways away.
Right. Like Betelgeuse or whatever that is.
Yeah, because they're saying when it goes supernova, it's going to put like a big wave of whatever that's going to come through everything, right, from it. So that'll be like some big, massive cosmic ray thing. Depending on what it is.
I think Ian,
then
Kat, I like to play that, but because it's a YouTube video, it's probably copyrighted. I don't know that it's I'd have to stop sharing. I have to look at it. All right. Microplate subsurface process. I might be able to do this.
Well, it's like the microplate thing, and they keep finding more of them, but it goes way back.
Right.
Because it's all based upon like when they do all the magnetic surveys of everything. That's what they're doing.
Right.
So then they find another one and say, "Look, this is thicker at this spot." So it's its own separate thing.
It's basically 1 minute long, but I got it muted, so I don't know if it's copyrighted. So that's my concern. I can use the government stuff because I pay for it with my taxes. You know? But
They would be taxed on both sides of the road.
no kidding. Jeez. Anything left that you want to talk about this evening?
No, I can't think anything.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I sat down and I faded. Boom. I hit the wall. So I'm tired as hell, man. I worked all week. I haven't slept all week. That's what it is. And 3 days I've got maybe 12 hours. My back has been killing me, but anyway, Canucks got nothing. Luke, you got something?
I was thinking of something earlier, but got lost in the conversation. I forgot about it. So
I know.
maybe I'll remember it next time.
I got lost too.
Yeah, because I still got to go find out what's going on with World War III updates.
Well, yeah, I'm going to stay on the line with you while I want you to figure that out because I don't know where you're at. I've been looking around on stuff. I can't find much.
I found a new thing here 2 or 3 days ago that focuses just on Ukraine and the Middle East.
All right, good.
So, and like there's 2 guys that do it, but they go in and like explain all the equipment and everything and what they're using, and this is what this is for. Like I don't know if they're military people or not, but they seem to know. Like they have pictures, all the stuff, and then they explain this is what they use this for, and this for this, and here's this drone compared to this drone, and this one looks like this, and this one is like a souped up version of this, and they go into super detail on everything, like all the stuff that's going on. And then when they hear about whatever happened, like what last night, they're trying to talk to their other sources to figure out, well, what thing are they using for that, or is it a new one, or all this other crazy stuff. It's just like nuts. Like I'd seen them before. I knew they were reporting about Ukraine, but I didn't know that they were doing stuff on the Middle East. And they've expanded way out now because they were talking about Venezuela, and they were in Mali where Wagner Group got wiped out here back last week or whatever. So they're like all over the place. These 2 guys. One guy was away or something, and there was only the one guy in the chat, and he couldn't keep up because everybody was giving him information so fast. And he said, I can't keep up. So he said, I don't know what. He said, I can't talk and see what everybody's saying in the chat at the same time because the 2 guys that run it, they kind of alternate. And they used to like only do like an hour show max, but with all this crazy stuff that's been happening in the last whatever 2 or 3 weeks or a month, they start doing an hour show, and it just keeps going and going because all this stuff, all the people are giving them information. It's just going right freaking crazy. And then I have all my other regular ones that I've used before, but they're having like issues like switching platforms and stuff. So then I try and find other ones to replace them with or add more in, and it's like a constant. It's just like all the other stuff I'm doing. I'm always trying to add more things to what, like the information I already have. And some of them are jumping all over the place. So one time they'll be on Rumble, and the next time they'll be on YouTube, and then they switch to another one, and then I got to go chase them down, find what they're doing. And then I find other ones, and I say, well, I got to go find out where these people are and track this all down. And eventually I find all the information, and then it all corroborates. Like you get three things with all the same information. So that's why I say this stuff when I'm doing. I said, well, one is saying this, but then I got to go check all these other things to see if they're saying the same thing or if it's different. It's just crazy stuff. It's with all these things. It's good that I'm interested in everything because, like, it's just freaking nuts. Like everything. It's like information coming at you from every possible direction you can try and find it. And I don't believe there's any way that they can hide information because there's just too much. Like somebody's always going to have access to something, and eventually they're all going to add up, and then you'll be able to find out if it's actually truth or made up or whatever.
Well, the only way that you'd never find out about it is if there was never any paperwork made on it. That'd be about the only way.
Yeah, but see, the way our world is now, there's so much technology compared to what it was like years ago. It would be easier to hide something years ago because you only had so many ways to, like, so many people watching it or so many people like recording it. But now it's just everybody and their friggin' dog. The dog's probably got some recorder, or it'll be flying a dog drone.
It's got a chip in it, man. It's got a chip.
Yeah, and it's just all this crazy stuff, right? And we're monitoring everything now with satellites and drones and friggin' who knows cameras.
Yeah,
like how can anybody really hide anything? Really, because there's too much monitoring of everything. Like there might be a bunch of different stories about the same thing, but eventually you're going to be able to figure out which one is actually true or which one is somebody was just adding more to it. It's just all deciphering info. That's all this stuff is. But at some point, you're going to have to believe one or the other based upon whatever research you've done. But, yeah, but that's just like how it is with anything, right?
Pretty much.
You believe your favorite team is going to win tomorrow, even though they're crap.
Well, that's a little bit different. That's called faith. You know,
it's called a pipe dream, buddy.
Yeah, but that's how all this stuff works, and there's more information all the time. It's just never ending.
Right.
And they launch a new satellite. Well, then you got to go and see what the new one's doing compared to the old ones, and then you say, "Oh, well, this is finding more stuff here," and that's why all the studies that have come out with the new data from the new satellite since 2021 is all different from the previous stuff. Well, that's why, because they're doing new things. But it's just funny because now they're referring to all this stuff to like what all the people did in the 50s and 60s again, which I find hilarious. It's like everything old is new again. So they have to find some other way to explain it. Say, well, we better go back to calling it that because that's actually more like what it is. So the old common sense people actually had the right name for it. And we tried to change it 6 times just to make it sound cooler. But when I actually just simplify it, it's what the original people came up with. It was straightforward, so people understand what they were talking about. And I don't know. It's all this stuff is just crazy because it's all like calling the same thing 10 different names.
Yep.
And all that does is confuse people. That's basically what it is. But
I'm confused.
They want everybody confused. But I don't know. It's just all nuts.
It's the art of illusion, buddy.
Yeah, it's always something all the time. Like there's not really a break because it's just always going because you can always find more information on whatever you want to find information on. Just keeps going.
All right.
It's just funny when it crosses over into a whole bunch of other things, which is basically what's happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap everywhere.
Yeah. And it seems to be like the more they go on with more stuff, like people were saying, oh, well, that's got nothing to do with that. And then they say, well, that's got nothing to do with that. That's not related. And then come to find out it's always been related. They're going, whoops, well, I guess we can't say that. So we got
Correct.
to change what we
Correct.
said, and redo it all over again.
That's why I love these rabbit holes, because depending on the day or the hour that we've read an article or something, and you could bring something up, and you've read a few articles and you've got an understanding of something, and then Luke will just say, off the cuff, he'll say something, it just clicks, and then all of a sudden there's a rabbit hole, and we just start running down that road full steam ahead, and it's like, wow, that was interesting.
Well, even the professionals can't agree on stuff. So how's that any more different than the
What we
average
do,
Joe?
that's the thing here too. Every professional out there has their bias. Every one of them. There are some rules to live by, and you stay within that ballpark. But even plate tectonics, it's a theory. It's just a theory. And it's been around since 1970. I mean, it's more likely that that's what's going on, but maybe.
Yeah, well, every theory is you just keep adding more information to it to try and approve it or disprove it. That's all this stuff is. Right?
Absolutely. It's yeah.
But at some point, it all comes down to what you believe. Do you believe the Baja BC people or the anti-Baja BC people?
I lean toward Baja BC because I got the chicken leg.
Yeah.
And your liniment theory works for me because it's the Pacific Plate sliding up the Walker Lane, and then bumping and creating the Texas liniment. How it's bent. Texas liniment has a bend in it, bends east, and because North America is coming south, and so it's crashing. The Pacific Plate's crashing up against it and pulling Mexico apart. That's how Baja was created, and that's how all the other stuff was created as well.
Well, now my new theory is the San Andreas is just the western edge of Walker Lane.
Yeah.
Well, so it's the same as the Queen Charlotte Fault, the Fairweather Fault, all those things. It's all the same thing. It's just you're given all the faults like a different name. And see, that's confusing people too.
Yes, sir. Because different state has a different fault name or a different country. Yeah.
Like
Fairweather Fart. Fairweather Fart.
Yeah, stinky weather fault.
Yeah, stinky weather fart. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys. It's an hour and 32 minutes into this one. I don't know that we did a whole lot, but it was fun. I enjoy my time with you. I super much appreciate everybody who's been listening. I'll get these back on Kate, not K Love, but on locals and out there. What is it called? What was that? Every social media thing that I can do it, because the more people we got, the more people will come in and they'll want to be coming live and talking with us. We're the foundation for this. So, iHeartRadio is what I was trying to refer to, and Twitter. So, you'll be able to listen to these things. You won't be able to see the video on iHeartRadio, but you'll be able to hear the podcast. And we have been cutting them down to about an hour and a half, most of them. And because we were doing 3 hours, but I can't do it. Can't do it right now. Not in this day and age with everything I got going on. So I appreciate y'all. Come back on Saturday, same time, 7:00, and we'll go down a rabbit hole again. Thank you, Canuck. Thank you, Clem. I look forward to seeing you guys in the morning. For those who don't know, we do have a morning show on twitch.tv/Joe Slick Live. 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the mornings, a morning live show where we talk about local events in the last 24 hours. Updates, or it's a report, it's not an update because it's the first one, not the second one. Updates would be in the evenings. And we talk a little bit about this and that, and keep you abreast of what's happening around your world and from outer space too. And we have a good time doing that. And big hugs, y'all. Thanks, Clem. Thank you, Canuck. Appreciate
Thank
y'all.
you.
Yeah, it was fun. Good night.
Good night.
night.
Yeah, those are my boys. So love them. I love them, and been good stuff. We'll talk to y'all. Big hugs. Remember, don't get none on you.